I have three visions for India. In 3,000 years of our history, people from all over the world have come and invaded us, captured our lands, conquered our minds. From Alexander onwards, the Greeks, the Turks, the Mughals, the Portuguese, the British, the French, and the Dutch. All of them came and looted us, took over what was ours. Yet, we have not done this to any other nation. We have not conquered anyone. We have not grabbed their land, their culture, and their history and tried to enforce our way of life on them. Why? Because we respect the freedom of others. That is why my first vision is that of freedom. I believe that India got its first vision of this in 1857, when we started the War of Independence. It is this freedom that we must protect and nurture and build on. If we are not free, no one will respect us. My second vision for India is development. For 50 years, we have been a developing nation. It is time we see ourselves as a developed nation. We are among the top nations of the world in terms of GDP. We have 10% growth rate in most areas. Our poverty levels are falling. Our achievements are being globally recognized today. Yet, we lack the self-confidence to see ourselves as a developed nation, self-reliant and self-assured. Isn't that right? I have a third vision, that India must stand up to the world, because I believe that unless India stands up to the world, no one will respect us. Only strength respects strength. We must be strong not only as a military power, but also as an economic power. Both must go hand in hand. My good fortune was to have worked with three great minds: Dr. Vikram Sarabhai of the Department of Space, Professor Satish Dhawan, who succeeded him, and Dr. Brahm Prakash, father of nuclear material. I was lucky to have worked with all three of them closely and consider this a great opportunity of my life. I see 4 milestones in my career. 1. 20 years I spent at ISRO. I was given the opportunity to be the project director for India's first satellite launch vehicle, SLV-3, the one that launched Rohini. These years played a very important role in my life of scientist. 2. After my ISRO years, I joined DRDO and got a chance to be a part of India's guided missile program. It was my second bliss when Agni met its mission requirements in 1994. 3. The Department of Atomic Energy and DRDO had this tremendous partnership in the recent nuclear tests on May 11th and 13th. This was the third bliss. The joy of participating with my team in these nuclear tests and proving to the world that India can make it, that we are no longer a developing nation, but one of them. It made me feel very proud as an Indian. We had also developed a very light material called carbon-carbon, which helped us in building the re-entry structure for Agni. 4. One day, an orthopedic surgeon from Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences visited my laboratory. He lifted the material and found it so light that he took me to his hospital and showed me his patients. There were these little girls and boys with heavy metallic calipers weighing over 3 kilos each, dragging their feet around. He said to me, "Please remove the pain of my patients." In 3 weeks, we made these flow reaction orthoses, 300-gram calipers, and took them to the orthopedic center. The children didn't believe their eyes. From dragging around a 3-kilo load on their legs, they could now move around. Their parents had tears in their eyes. That was my fourth bliss. Why is the media here so negative? Why are we in India so embarrassed to recognize our own strengths, our achievements? We are such a great nation. We have so many amazing success stories, but we refuse to acknowledge them. Why? We are the second largest producer of wheat in the world. We are the second largest producer of rice. We are the first in milk production. We are number 1 in remote sensing satellites. Look at Dr. Sudarshan. He has transformed a tribal village into a self-sustaining, self-driving unit. There are millions of such achievements, but our media is only obsessed with the bad news and failures and disasters. I was at Tel Aviv once, and I was reading the Israeli newspaper. It was the day after a lot of attacks and bombardments and deaths had taken place. The Hamas had struck. But the front page of the newspaper had the picture of a Jewish gentleman who in 5 years had transformed his desert land into orchards and a granary. It was this inspiring picture that everyone woke up to. The gory details of killings, bombardments, deaths were in the newspaper, buried among other news. In India, we only read about death, sickness, terrorism and crime. Why are we so negative? Another question. Why are we as a nation so obsessed with foreign things? We want foreign TVs, we want foreign shirts, and we want foreign technology. Why this obsession with everything imported? Do we not realize that self-respect comes from self-reliance? I was in Hyderabad giving this lecture when a 14-year-old girl asked me for my autograph. I asked her what her goal in life is. She replied, I want to live in a developed India. For her, you and I will have to build this developed India.